Hello and welcome to a playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on Nintendo Switch. It'll be a very brief playthrough just to give you some idea of kind of what's changed this new edition, what's new, and also how good it looks, basically. We'll start off with kind of the most iconic location from Xenoblade Chronicles, which is Galplane. Excuse the birds in the background, I am recording it in my shed. So yeah, here we are. Here's Shulk with a Monado on his back, and this is Galplane, which is one of the more expansive locations. This game is all about size and scale. Who's this lad? Hello. Just coming through in that shot. Aramu. Right, let's go for a little stroll. I'm going to take it slow because I think this is a game best enjoyed slowly. This is all about kind of scope and size and scale and everything. It's kind of what the appeal of this game is just the sheer size of it, at least for me anyway. And so to see it kind of polished up and looking this great is a really good thing. It's definitely part of the appeal for me. I shall keep quiet for a little bit while we just go for a little stroll so you can just admire Galplane in all its beauty. Hello, Tiki lad. So yes, this is I'm not sure what he said, if it's a remaster or a remake. It's a new version of Xenoblade Chronicles, which originally came out in 2010 on the Wii. And then I think got localized in 2011 and kind of was in a weird limbo situation in America where it never really I think it did get a localization eventually, but kind of got a very limited release over there, which is a shame because I think it is one of the Wii's best games. I think it's, out of all the Monolith Soft games, I think this is probably their best. Obviously there was a 3DS version of this, came out in 2015 for new 3DS only. It worked, but it was also kind of a bit weird having this crazy scale pushed down onto that 3DS screen, and so it wasn't quite as impressive as it could have been. Xenoblade Chronicles X came out in 2015, which slightly different take. I absolutely adore that. Xenoblade Chronicles X, it's more open-ended, a bit more experimental, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 2, yeah, that was also a video game. That one came out in 2017, and it wasn't bad. It was for my tastes, it was a bit too anime. But so that's what Monolith Soft has kind of been up to the past few years. But you also, if you're not familiar with the Xenoblade series, you probably know them for their work on a little game called Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. And I think in many ways, Xenoblade Chronicles is kind of like a blueprint in a lot of ways for Breath of the Wild, because of Breath of the Wild's a game just all about landscape, exploring landscape, looking around, and just enjoying these big vast spaces. And that's what Monolith Soft did with Xenoblade Chronicles. This is a game which is just primarily, if you play it like I play it, I mean there's a very good 80-hour RPG which you can kind of mainline as well if you want at any point, or you can just do what I do and get to Galplane and just mince around, enjoying the scenery, having a look at everything, and kind of looking at a point in the distance, like for example that bridge over there. Let's head over there in a second. Just looking at a point in the distance on the horizon and thinking, let's have a stroll over there and see what adventures we get up to on the way. The camera's quite close to Shulk at the moment. You can adjust that, whee, and go all the way out. Hello, lad. We'll zoom in. Hello. And if we zoom in, we can see probably one of the biggest changes of the sequel, which might seem small, but look at his face. It's way less derpy than it used to be. So in the Wii, oh hello, he's got a little sneeze. We've got hay fever. Oh dude, you picked the wrong game to play. So yeah, the faces in the Wii one were incredibly derpy. I don't know why. I don't know if it was a choice or something, or it was because it was just limited kind of polygon numbers they could use or something. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the faces look dumb as hell in the original, and it makes a big difference when your character doesn't look like it doesn't look so derpy, basically. As a big kind of open-ended plane here, there's like loads of low-level mobs you can get, and also, oh, he's a violent. Oh no, oh, this is right. I didn't want to get in a fight, but we're in a fight. Sorry, lad. Oh, you started it. I like to play quite peacefully. I don't really like upsetting the wildlife unless they're starting a fight with me, but this guy asked for it. And he seems to be some kind of named mob as well, so there might be some decent loot from him. There you go. Xenoblade Chronicles combat system, like the original, was kind of a mix between real-time and turn-based. You kind of got commands and like an MMO timer style thing that count down. It's quite messy, it can seem quite messy, but there's a rhythm to it which you can get into quite easily, which I find quite soothing as well. Yeah. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. I'll take us to some other locations as well. I'm about like 9-10 hours into this, I guess. And there's only so much we can show you during this preview phase. And I kind of got to the last location I could show you in this, which I skipped to in a bit, which is the marshes. But I still think even though there's wonderful sights to see in this game later on, it's this place just really does it for me. It's just kind of the impossibility of it. Oh, that's just level 76 Dark Hawks. I'm not messing with that, as I'm only level 25, and that will one-shot me easily. So let's not do that. Let's not go there, because if he's looking for a fight, there's some mech on there. I can ignore them. Actually, let's have a fight with some mech on. These are the big bad robot dudes, and they deserve a pummeling. Unlike some of these lovely wildlife that we're seeing around, these guys are asking for it. There's kind of a lot of the attacks context sensitive. You get behind someone, you can do massive damage. You get to the side of someone, you can inflict status effects on them. But as it stands right now, I'm a bit over leveled to these guys, so they're going to go down nice and quickly, which I like. Nothing wrong with a nice, quick battle. There you go. Obviously, there's like when you're out in this bit, there's loads of side quests and everything you can do. There's a lot to do away from the main thrust of the story. And this is one of those games you can just kind of lose yourself into. It's also just one of those worlds I love returning to, and it's great coming back to it, looking this good. I think if you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you would have remembered that it was slightly fuzzy looking. Again, I'm not Digital Foundry, so I apologise for the woodiness of my descriptive terms, but it looked like it would have been forcefully squeezed onto the Switch, basically. And just I noticed, especially in handheld mode. In handheld mode, this looks absolutely fine. It looks great. Kind of a draw distance is great. There is that kind of fuzziness to it, which I think is inherent with Monolith Soft stuff, but it's definitely, you can see so much further. Oh, it's starting to rain as well. Isn't that lovely? There's a lot more to this definitive edition that I can't really go into too much detail on. There's some new modes, which we're not allowed to talk about yet. And there's also Future Connected, which we can talk about, but I actually haven't started it yet because if I want to kind of experience that, I want to run through the main campaign first. And so Future Connected is like an epilogue. It's an all new thing. I don't know how long it is, but I presume it's going to be like the Torna expansion for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's very much a standalone thing that you can kind of rinse through much quicker than you would the main campaign. So it's quite nice if you're returning to the game and you're a bit of an expert who've played it before. You've got some brand new content to dive into and enjoy, which takes place post-game. And obviously you've also got Xenoblade Chronicles 1 looking this good. You can also you can set this to auto-run if you want to be even more chill. And just kind of, so you can just run around and just kind of move the camera around while you go from point to point. And just relax and unwind, which is what we really play games for, isn't it? It's just to sit back and relax and have a nice time. No need for any stress, he says as he's being chased by some mad bastard hawk who wants to knock the crap out of me. Doesn't realise I'm playing a different game. Taking it easy. Right, I think if we get over that hill, there looks like there's a slight glow over that hill where we can maybe, hopefully, go over this bridge. So there's that big tubby bog bastard doesn't get me. Here we go. Who's that? Oh, I'm kiting it, is he? Level 24, less. He wants to fight. He wants to fight. Didn't want to do this, mate. Didn't want to do this. I was just going for a little walk, and he could have had a much better day if you hadn't bothered coming off like that. But there you go. I actually think it's interesting because of this is obviously a look at where Monolith's off now, and there's no secret that they are working on Breath of the Wild 2, and so I think this is kind of an interesting look in terms of where they are with their tech and where they are with kind of their big landscapes into what we might see in Breath of the Wild 2, but that might be just reaching a bit too far as well. Who knows? Most importantly, let's go and look at the glowing trees. Oh, who's this? These look like they're proper map bastards. Yeah, I can take you. I'm playing with the sound up, obviously when doing capture, and you might notice as well that there's a lot of chatting. I do like to talk a lot in battle, and thankfully if you turn it Japanese it's a bit less annoying. The voice acting is kind of divisive on this. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I think Jenna Coleman's involved actually in this, and I think she's back with Future Connected as well. You're ruining my nice walk, guys. What are you up to? Go down there in no time. But yeah, it's kind of one of those Nintendo games that has kind of regional British accents, which is cute at first, but my God, the guy who does Shulk just sounds like some bored accountant from Swindon or something. It just it's not quite right. I got lost, haven't I? I'm gonna have to call it a day in a second anyway, but I hope you've got some kind of idea of what it is that makes this game special, and how decent I think this remastered definitive edition looks. I think it's a phenomenal game, and if you haven't played it before, I kind of envy you getting to play through it first time. When it looks as good, when it plays as well, it really is a fantastic thing. And just if you're kind of a big fan of Breath of the Wild and just kind of out of academic interest to see kind of where that big scope, oh my God, I found the glowing trees finally, where that kind of scope came from, because it very much feels like a part of that game story is the big vast landscapes of Xenoblade. Let's take these off and let's go and see those glowing trees I promised you before we sign off. Oh my God, what am I doing? It's level 81. Get away. Run away. Run away. Who's doing a funky dance? Oh no. Well, we got there. Yeah, you see the glowing trees, but it looks like the glowing trees are the thing that Shulk dies under eventually. But look at this. This is why I play video games. I just love these huge, massive, fancy backdrop, just kind of unlimited imagination going into the creation of these places. I absolutely adore it. Look at that. What a lovely time. What a lovely game. What a lovely world to go and explore. Yeah, we'll have more. The game's coming out 29th of May, I think. We'll have a full review for you and plenty more when we can actually tell you a bit more about the other secrets and new modes enabled. That's what happens when you fall down as well. But yeah, we'll show more. But for now, that is a little look at Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.